Hello, I'm Vinny, and you're very welcome to my channel. Some time ago I was poking around on YouTube and I found a bird trap called the Arapuca bird trap. And I said, yeah, I know this one. But when I looked at it, there were some differences that I think are significant. So I'd just like to show you the Irish Arapuca and the YouTube Arapuca. We'll get you zoomed in so you can get a better look, okay? Right, I'm going to quickly make what we call the YouTube Arapuca. Basically, you get two sticks, you get twine. They say the twine should be longer than the sticks. This is maybe a third, or maybe 1.5 as long as the stick, this twine. So you cross it, and you start laying your sticks in like this. And as they build up, they'll get narrower. Now, I'm not going to make you sit there and watch this, so I'm going to speed it up, okay? Okay, so you get the idea, you get a structure like this. Now the YouTube Arapuca runs out of twine around here, so the guys they make a plateau to finish it off. So you end up with this effect, okay? And it's tensioned basically by jamming sticks in as firmly as you can. It's not too bad. We'll set that aside for a moment. Now we'll show you the Irish Arapuca. To be honest, in the old days this started by lashing a frame like this. You tie the frame, but this is so much simpler that we're going to go with this. Now for this one you need the twine about twice as long, almost twice as long if you take the knots into account, twice as long as the sticks, okay? So you cross it in the same way and you start laying your sticks. So on and so forth, okay? You get the idea, and we're going to speed this up as well. Okay, so the Irish Arapuca doesn't come to a plateau. It comes to a complete pyramid. It comes to a nice point. Now you have some string left over, but that's no big deal. You get a stick and just twist it. You crank that down fairly good. You need reasonably strong twine to do this. We can adjust the shape when we're finished. So you crank that down pretty good. Oopsie daisy, need a better stick. And you can just jam that in there. You can square it up and firm it up. Anyway, let's discuss the triggers. Okay, so here's the YouTube Arapuca set up. Here's the trigger system. So you've got a forked stick here. It comes down and takes the tension from these two. So that tension is shoving forward. This stick here is holding that tension. So now you put your bait in here and your bird comes along and meets this barrier and it jumps on the stick. And your trap falls, and that's quite a sensitive trigger. And therein I think lies the problem with the YouTube Arapuca. Let's set up the Irish one. Okay, for the Irish one you get a bendy stick, a pliable stick like this, okay? You just lift the trap and you just slot it in between the bars. That's it. Here we've got it set up. The fork is outside of the trap. The trigger bar is resting on the fork. The weight of the trap is on the bar. It's going back down here to your trigger. And why I think this is a superior trigger is because you can adjust the tension. You can set it to be very, very light, or you can set it to be reasonably heavy. And why this is a benefit is you're not going to be catching the tiny songbirds. They're going to be the first birds in here. In Ireland, it'll be your blue tits and your grey tits every time. They're very aggressive and very hungry. They'll be first in, they'll set your trap off, they'll eat your food, and they'll escape through the bars. They can get through a very small space. If you're in a situation where you need food, you're going to be targeting the bigger birds, like blackbirds, pigeons, whatever, larger birds, for a decent amount of food. They will be way behind the posse when it comes to going into this thing. Also, these really work well only in the very, if you're dealing with wild birds, they only work well in the very cold weather. You need hard frost, you need snow on the ground. That's when these will catch well. In the height of autumn, we'll say, when the birds are dispersed eating blackberries and beech mast and whatever, wild foods, you're not going to catch a whole lot with this. It's when the weather gets hard, you need to have some proper bait that they want and that they can't get elsewhere. That's when this will work. Okay? Now this was shown to me by an old neighbour of mine. The poor man is long since dead. I used to go over visiting and he used to make one of these, and he'd catch a few birds. Now, trapping birds, songbirds, is illegal in Ireland, but that poor man is long dead, so it won't matter to him. This in the old days was known as a crib. I don't know where that name came from or why it was called that, but that was the Irish name for the crib. And these, he told me these were used in the Second World War, that era, and rationing was in force. Fresh meat was very scarce, and they used these to catch blackbirds and thrushes, and they'd roast them then over the open fire. Okay, I'm outside. I hope it's not too windy. I've set up the Arapuca so that it cannot close. I have a stake here and here, and they're firmly tied. Sorry guys, they're firmly tied so it can't close. Even the trigger, I've staked it and tied it up so it can't move. The trap cannot fall, so now it's no longer a trap. It's a piece of homemade garden ornament. Just to read out the definition of a trap: a device or enclosure designed to catch and retain animals or birds by allowing entry but not exit, or by catching hold of a part of the body. This cannot do that anymore, so it's no longer a trap. Also, I put my bird feeder in here. These are my own birds that I feed every day. To trap them would prove nothing. It would simply be a betrayal of trust. So I have no intention of trapping anything. I'm only doing this for demonstration purposes. Right, let's crack on. Next morning we had snow and the birds were hungry. I hope this has been a help to you or of some interest to you. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.